really, we need to see if this is going to detect. This is a very busy road. Well, there was no traffic, so I don't know if it was going to, you know, react correctly or not, but it didn't clip the curb. So it's so strange, like it always like just needs to stay straight. It's working with the stoplights perfectly though. You know, because they've been doing the traffic light detection. I don't know Auburn at all, so I'm relying on the car to do everything correct. Oh shit. Oh my god. Excuse my language, but what the heck was that? Holy cow. It was gonna go straight. Was the navigation set to go straight, or was it trying to turn right? Did you notice it?
It was trying to turn right.
That's what I thought. Whoa. Yeah, I don't think I want to use it. Yeah, I don't.
Just use it.
You sure? Oh my gosh.
Real life.
This is real life, that's for sure. Okay. It was because that truck was turning. Oh, look at that. It's detecting the painting on the road as a roundabout. That's interesting. Let's take a snapshot of that so they can see this. You know, it's challenging because like the shadow is right in front of those rings, so it's acting like it's a roundabout, but maybe it'll disappear because the cars are driving through. Because that's not a roundabout. Oh my gosh, it's gonna... Okay. It's looking at the light again. It's not working. So that was a protected left-hand turn, and for some reason it was detecting those rings painted on the road as a roundabout, and it was definitely not a roundabout. Okay, let's go get some food. Is the upper one doing it too?
Mm-hmm.
It's blind. Oh, yeah, blind curve. Didn't detect. So this is a left-hand turn. Let's see if it looks for the cars correctly. Oh, good. It's not. It didn't pull out in front of cars, but there wasn't any cars coming. Why is it doing this? See, it definitely struggles with really wide lanes, because look at this, yeah, forget that. It was like gonna drive over there. Yeah, all these people posting these videos, the roads are just so clearly marked, and as soon as you get into an area that is hard to see or not marked very clear, it's definitely struggling. What?
Not a pilot?
It's in traffic aware cruise control. It's not in auto steer right now because I keep seeing it wanting to go to the right. You see the screen is pulling to the right.
Maybe we can try it here.
It's struggling. It thinks we're veering off the road. Okay, let's see if it lets me engage. Okay. So right now we're up in Auburn, California, and we're on Highway 49, Old Forest Hill Road. Seeing how it handles the road here. We used autopilot here, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and it was going slow. I mean, it's going 25. It's not letting us go more than 30. There's a huge semi right behind us. Oh my gosh. Seriously, this semi truck is like on us. And this is. Let me just pull over because these people are. It's tracking pretty well. I mean, all considering. It won't go any faster than 5 over though, so that is kind of a bit slow. Oh yeah, it's going way too slow here. Turn off autopilot. almost done. Skydio 2. So now it's following this car. So we're up in Auburn, Forest Hill area. So the Forest Hill Bridge is actually right there. So we're gonna go to the end of the road here and stop the drone, and then we'll drive over the Forest Hill Bridge. How's everything tracking?
It's good.
Good. Wow, that's awesome. What's the speed on the R2?
I'm not sure.
Because, I mean, the R1, I think it goes about 25 or 30 miles an hour, right? And that one goes about 40.
Yeah.
So it should be keeping up with us.
Should be.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. Maybe I'll leave it at 30 just so it'll keep up with us. We don't have any traffic, so. I think I should jump it to 35?
No, that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, there's no cars, so this is kind of like a smaller area, but at least it can show some curvature up here. Is it tracking okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, I don't have any destination set, but at least you can still see the city street driving mode and all the rendering on the UI here. We're definitely in the mountains. Let's see how it handles the bicyclists. It should. It did. It actually.
Oh.
That's perfect. It actually went around the bicyclist, slightly crossed the yellow line, but more like hugging it. Yeah, it's definitely, it steers very abruptly. Like, I feel like there needs to be some smoothing algorithms added to the accelerator, the steering, so it's not so abrupt. It'll just smoothly. Like, abrupt should be emergency evasive, not your regular driving. So, you know, it makes us feel a little sick because the car keeps accelerating, slowing down. You know, we were going around some cones earlier, and it was like a drunk driver going like this. You know, it was pretty crazy. Experiencing this issue with the turning like that I've been having, but I'm just assuming that everyone is taking it on very clearly marked roads. You know, I live in Sacramento, so the streets are narrow, they're unmarked in my neighborhood, and you know, it's really relying on the car detecting the road edges and things like that, and it does tend to struggle knowing where to place the car in the road. It's always had issues with autopilot anyway in the city, but I think that might be the difference of why. Like, I saw a roundabout video earlier, and that roundabout was so clearly marked. I mean, it was definitely much easier for her car to handle it than mine. So I think I'll just pull over here. Yeah. I'll go ahead and stop it for now, yeah? Yeah, we can just chop it out. Okay. Is it tracking okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get auto steer back. Okay, 35. I know it's 40 here, but I don't want to like make the drone go too fast. So now we're basically just going to go back and reverse the other way because I want to see how the tracking abilities are on this new full self-drive beta software. You know, it's still, you know, autopilot, but it's still city street, so it's definitely processing slightly different. Should be really pretty up here because the sun will be shining. Down here? Like, where are you
Yeah, from the bridge.
all the way down at the bottom? Okay. Do you have enough flight time for that? Okay. And it's keeping up okay? Cool. Yeah, I just don't remember the top speed of the two. I know it's like 10 miles an hour faster, I think, or 15 miles an hour faster than the R1, but there's no cars behind us, so we're not like going too slow or anything. Did it?
Should be keeping up with us.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll pull off up here. Did it lose us? You want me to turn around? I'll turn around. Casa, just get in. I'll turn around.
It's going.
Did it catch up?
Yeah. You hear this?
Yep. Turned off the drone so we could go faster, at least the speed limit. Okay. My bike. Oh wow, it crosses over the line. I can't remember if autopilot did that before. I don't think it ever crossed the line. I think it would have just slowed down before. The FSD software is definitely behaves different. I mean, to me, it's actually more natural that it just, you know, you go around if there's no oncoming traffic. That's good. Very.
Top camera is not working.
Again? Well,
We can stop somewhere.
yeah, we can pull over here. Yeah, maybe the battery or the memory card's filling up. Back on the road. So this is my very first GoPro. I've actually never used one before, so this is all new to me, but it seems pretty cool. Like the smoothing ability that it has, it should really help reduce that bumpiness that we were getting with the iPhone. We were even using a gimbal, and it was still just so jumpy. So I'm not in self-drive mode right now. Yeah, it won't work here. I probably should have had it on beforehand. So we're up in Forest Hill, California, and we're going to actually go over the old Forest Hill Bridge now.
Because in California.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. Highest in California? And this is FSD BETA Software. It does drive differently, so like on autopilot on the highway, it's I don't know, I would say it's smooth, and this version on city streets is different. It's like it definitely is a lot more aggressive with making adjustments. Like the steering wheel will turn very like a lot more than when you're on the highway, mainly because there's stronger curves. It's going to have to steer a lot more here, so it's different. You know, once Tesla starts applying more smoothing algorithms to the controls, it's going to feel way more natural. But it definitely works better on clear markings. Like I really think that's the difference between what I'm experiencing and what other people are experiencing, because on those videos the lines are just so clearly marked. I mean, like clear paint on both sides of the road, and like here is a good example. It's very clear. Where I've been driving in Sacramento, it really hasn't been that clear. It really hasn't been that clear. So I think that's why it's been struggling a lot more for me. So I guess that was the bridge, Forza Bridge. Oh my gosh, these people. That was so uncalled for. Do you want me to route back to SAC and then see how it handles all this?
I can send it to you.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. That was strange. The speed limit immediately dropped to 25, and it just braked hard. There was no speed limit sign there, so I'm assuming it pulled map data for that. That was really, really odd. I'm gonna go off the freeway here and we'll pull the camera off, okay? Okay, car. Okay. So we're up in Auburn, and we just kind of picked a random area in this development on the west-hand side of Auburn, just to see how it handles, you know, different city. So it's a left-hand turn lane here. Okay, like a drunk driver again. Yeah. I don't know how all these other people are not having this experience that we're having in here, because, you know, I've recalibrated my cameras, I've reset the car multiple times. I just really don't think people are taking their car in these scenarios. Like that example, that car was actually pulled out into the road. I think that the car was reacting to the fact that car was pulled out a little bit. I think that's why, you know, and I'm experiencing cars pulled, you know, halfway out of their driveway in the road, and my car's been swerving around, and the FSD Beta is definitely a lot more aggressive when it comes to its maneuvering. So it'll cross over the line, which I don't really experience in standard autopilot mode. It just won't cross that line. But in FSD Beta, it'll go around it if there's a maneuver it needs to do. So there's definitely a very big difference. But you know, once Tesla fine tunes it, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, we should be able to see that on that exterior camera for sure. Yeah, you could see the ultrasonic, it lit up, so it definitely got really close to that that car, the oncoming car. Okay, so it's gonna want to make a left turn here. So it should have turned on the signal before attempting that maneuver. I mean, it's on now, but it definitely should have turned on before that maneuver. You guys can see it. That's why I was overtaking last night. It was getting, it would have clipped, my car would have clipped a lot of the medians driving around Midtown last night. I mean, it was just gonna go right into some of those medians that were sticking out. I didn't have to overtake there, so that's good. You know, again, the lines are really clearly marked here. When we were testing in Midtown, the lines aren't very clear. You know, there's a lot of blackness from tires on they're faded. Here, they're really clearly marked, so we really haven't experienced, you know, too much struggle. See, that time it worked well. So again, these roads are really clear. You know, it's really dark road, and the cement is light color, so it's helping the contrast. Oh my gosh. So the nav point is actually set here, so it's gonna just stop. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out another place to go. So I think supercharge session. Okay. I'll go ahead and re-engage it. Oh, didn't like that. Okay. So now we're back in autopilot, full self-drive, signal on. So there's no cars. So last night, I don't think we had it on video because we had so much trouble transferring the videos between our devices last night. But at one point, there was a stop and there was no stop on the traffic lane we were crossing. And the car pulled right out in front of a car that was coming from the west. And it didn't even attempt to slow down. And that car honked at us and I had to slam on the brakes. So I'm not sure if it's because it was blind and that car was speeding. It was going very, very fast, but I feel like if it's blind and the car's having trouble seeing, it shouldn't just barrel through the stop. It should attempt to go and then, okay, so it's waiting for the left-hand car. Yeah, again, they're pulled out in front of the cars, like. So now people know why I'm overtaking, because it pulled right out into a moving car. So, you know, I swear, how are people not experiencing this? Like, this is a good example of, like, you have to have control of the car. I was blown, it blew my mind that there was someone live streaming last night holding their phone. As a driver, I can't even imagine, like, you know, there's no way I can even record myself. We have these suction cups and my friend's in the back, and there's no way, because this software is so much more aggressive than in maneuvering and the way it controls itself than the older software. But they're really opening it up, so the car's capable of a lot. You know, they just have to fine-tune this. So my point is that, like, at a blind intersection, the car should just roll out like we would naturally do as people to look. You know, if it's not sure, it shouldn't go. It should just, like, pause, maybe tell us, hey, you need to take over in this intersection or something like that, but not just blindly go and pull out in front of cars. Okay, let's see how it's, oh yeah, so it's detecting that car being pulled out. Yeah, I swear this. Oh my gosh, you know, I said we had, you know, it makes you feel like you need drama. I mean, it really does. The car is like braking really hard, and then it goes, and it's like we're going like back and forth. Oh. It's really cool though, all the rendering it's doing. This is incredible. It's much different than the nighttime because, you know, we're not really experiencing a lot of traffic and a lot of stuff happening. But okay, so it's a protected right green turn. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I really think that's what it is. So these roads are so much more clearly marked, and it hasn't been struggling with taking turns as much. I think it's struggling with not knowing what a car's doing. So, you know, the intersection back there with the Prius, that Prius was well over the line, and I think it was reacting to the fact that that car was pulled out beyond the stop line, so then it was waiting for them to go. I think that's why the car was acting like that, but I don't know. I'm not, oh. it is struggling with traffic cones. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Oh my, I would have been arrested for drunk driving with that. Holy cow.
For sure.
Oh my gosh. Report that. God, this is so nerve-wracking.
Turn it up.
What is? How are people not experiencing this? Like, I can't be the only one that's like having these. This is really strange. Like, you know, people must be editing this stuff out because, you know, I've been really driving in all kinds of different scenarios, and I'm experiencing a lot of different things. You know, sometimes it works really, really well, and other times it really struggles with determining what's happening. And I really think it has to do with really visible markings and non-visible markings. So I think that's the importance of having some kind of map data overlaid. I know that, you know, Tesla had said in the past they want to rely just on the vision part, which I get, but I think it would be very beneficial to overlay data and give it a weight value, kind of like how the radar and the vision have weight. You know, if the radar detects something, it'll use the cameras and give a weight value. Like if the radar kind of detects something, the vision doesn't see it, they weight on each other. So, you know, they maybe should do that kind of stuff. Oh, we're probably going to have a little swerve session here. They probably need to add some kind of weighted value to some kind of mapping data and vision data at the same time. I think that would really help my experience. Wow, did you see that? It was wanting to route out. It was wanting to route around. Oh my gosh. There's something with the logic of traffic cones. It is really... Why would they... I think I know what they're doing. So there's something with the traffic cone detection. It's because like the road edges are marked red, like it's not going to go to that area, and the traffic cones were identified as the same way, like don't go past the traffic cone. Oh my gosh.
It was just clear.
Wow. I really don't know how people are not experiencing this. Like, but you know what? This is why it's beta, and that's why I think it's so important for Tesla to test on different builds of cars. So I'm driving a performance model, and I got mine in 2018, right around the time that they just ramped up production for the performance models. So I have a very early performance Model 3. I think my VIN number is in the 74,000 range. So, you know, it's not like it's a brand new Model 3, but I remember it was an early performance Model 3. I remember at the time there wasn't very many deliveries at that time of performance models. So I've actually never driven into this area before. But, you know, the lanes are really marked here, and it's tracking really well. But autopilot tracks really well in general. I don't really have any trouble with autopilot, but the FSD software is definitely different and a lot more aggressive in the way that it maneuvers the road. You know, it'll swerve out of objects, which standard autopilot, I've never really seen do that before. Okay, so we're gonna head to a supercharger in Roseville. I think it's at Galleria Boulevard. So I was asking my passenger, I said, do you want me to use FSD? And
It's better to use your driving instead of FSD because it's so unpredictable. So that's why we can get it faster there.
yeah, it's really struggling. You know, it's like
You need to be controlled every second.
yeah, you have to be hyper aware. I mean, it's like even when I'm in autopilot, I'm still very aware, but at highway speeds, autopilot it's just like it's like you're on a railroad track, you know? It's like you're in the direction, it's not swerving around. And you know, I think that's why people get complacent, make all these videos about like, oh, I'm sleeping in my Tesla, you know. I can't imagine, I don't know why anyone would do that, but you know, this is just definitely different. Like I said, it definitely it's a lot more aggressive in the way that it maneuvers. I've never seen that before. I remember reading some report that said that there's a certain degree value that they don't allow autopilot to turn the steering wheel past. And I remember when the Model 3 came out, they had increased that value because European roads have a lot greater curvature than roads here in the United States. And they definitely dialed that up on this this release. But it's like it's just too sensitive. Like it's just too sensitive to me, you know, like those traffic cones on the side of the road, it literally is going like this around every single one, and you feel like you're in a video game, like bouncing off, you know, like, you know, it's pretty wild.
You can scare other drivers.
Yeah, it makes you look like a drunk driver. And, you know, I know that's not what Tesla's intent is at all. You know, they want this to be FSD and I-80 East. Sorry, I'm not familiar with this area at all. Okay. You know, I know that they want this to be FSD. They don't want the cars to look like drunk drivers, but my experience is definitely the car looks like a drunk driver. I don't know what it is about my car versus these other videos, but I really think it has to do with the clear markings. Because I'm driving on roads that are not very clean. You know, the markings are very faded, and in Sacramento, a lot of the curbs and the roadways are the same color, and I think it just struggles with the lack of contrast. And I think that's why at night, in Midtown last night, and seeing the road markings turn yellow, like it thought the left-hand lane was oncoming, but it's one way. That's why I suggest overlaying some kind of map value data with a weight value, so that way at least the system can just act more reliably for people and not rely solely on vision, you know, in the intermediate phase, until they can flip that switch and say, okay, we're ready to switch all to vision. But I think right now it needs to be a blend of sorts. I don't know. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
I just want to be safe here.
Yeah, me too. You know, and that's why, you know, people were like giving me a hard time. Oh, you know, you're being overly sensitive and, you know, overtaking. No, you know what? I don't want my very expensive Tesla to run up a curb. You know, it's not a cheap thing for most people. You know, like a Model 3 is, you know, mid $30,000 range, and that's really an average price for people. But it's expensive for a lot of people, and they can't afford to like fix their rims if they go running up a curb all the time. So, you know, I think it's really important that I show all of these cases to people, because, you know, it's not like Tesla's not seeing it. You know, I'm reporting it. Whenever you overtake, it immediately sends all that data to Tesla, and they're just going to make it so much better. And I have full confidence in them. I love Tesla. You know, I've been with EAP for a very long time, and I can just tell you, they listen to all the feedback that you provide, and it's incredible how quickly they respond to it and push builds to your vehicle, and have you test scenarios, and they're tweaking your software. It feels like almost real time sometimes, because you provide feedback. Okay, go ahead and test this specific scenario and see if it improves, and then they'll make adjustments. It's incredible, the people that they have working there. It's mind-blowing. You know, a lot of people don't get to see this, and this is something different, because Tesla's never given us the ability to speak openly about our experience with this program. So this is definitely a first for me and everyone else that is showing all these experiences. So it's exciting. You know, all these YouTube videos are that people are putting out, you know, music and all this stuff. I don't know anything about uploading videos, as you guys can tell. Like, my videos, I just pretty much put the whole video up, and people give me a hard time about that. You know what? I'm just showing you exactly what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing. So anyway, we're heading to Supercharger. Okay, so now we're coming off Interstate 80, and we're heading to the Roseville Galleria Supercharger, and we're in FSD mode. Let's see how it handles this. It's going to need to turn left. Oh yeah, it's clearly reading the lanes, the lane lines here, much better than it did last night. Come on, turn left, turn left. Okay. Oh, the automatic high beams are
Enabled? Disabled?
well, it was enabled, but there's plenty of cars around here, and it should not have been. I think that was just a bug. I'll leave it disabled. So does that look like a Model Y to you? I think it is. Yeah, see this yellow line? It's definitely detecting the color correctly, at least at this time of day. Like last night, it kept detecting all the one-way roads we were driving as two directions for whatever reason. That left-hand turn was fine. So, as I was saying, we're actually heading to the Galleria Supercharger. I'm surprised it's not... Okay, there it goes to turn. Like, if it was me, I would have already switched lanes further back, because, you know, if you're dealing with a lot of traffic, then the car would be hesitating and trying to switch lanes at the last minute, and then it would, like the other day, it just skipped the turn, and then it wanted to go to another road, and one time it stopped in the road as it was just wanting to turn left. So
It was yesterday.
yeah, there needs to be some adjustments made on the timing of changing lanes for sure. But this is exactly why it's beta, and just, you know, just a few adjustments. See, again, there it like really hit the accelerator, and then it braked. It's like, it makes you feel a little queasy. Oh my gosh. Holy shit. Excuse my language, but good Lord Almighty.
It's too sharp.
Oh my God.
Too sharp.
That, like,
So predictable.
I swear, I don't know how people people are not having this issue with it, unless they're just not talking about it. But it's really like, it's disconcerting. It makes you feel very sick. I mean, like it really aggressively steers the wheel. You know, like I didn't overtake it because there was no cars around us, because I wanted to see if it was going to correct itself. But it made the turn wide, and then it overcorrected, and it was going to go into the left-hand lane instead of just staying pinned to this lane. You know,
90 degrees.
Yeah, it like I said before, there needs to be the width of the lane like hard coded in here. Like the car needs to say width of lane is 10 feet. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it needs to be set. And whatever the endpoint is, that car needs to draw like a virtual tunnel, and it needs to stay in there, and should only deviate if, say, an ultrasonic sensor is picking up a potential collision from a car getting too close. Then turn a little bit, but just stay in that tunnel. Like, you know, I know Tesla can program it. This is all new, but you know, hopefully they can hear that feedback. And
because for now it's just different direction.
Yeah, it's really unpredictable, at least from my point of view. You know, and they're easy fixes in my mind, because, you know, you can just say width is, I'm just going to say 10 feet because it's not 10 feet, but 10 feet here, 10 feet here. It's not going to be different. And draw a virtual tunnel in the system, and then stay in that tunnel, Tesla. Okay, we're going to charge. Yeah, it's on. Okay. We got some energy. I love supercharging. This is actually version 2 superchargers, so it's not as fast as a V3, but it's awesome.
I'm sending it to you.
Okay.
To the car. Going to buy some Russian food?
Yeah, so we're gonna go buy some Russian food. You know, my best friend back here in the back seat that doesn't want to be on camera is Russian, and looking forward to that. We're gonna upload these videos later from our day. I don't know if I want to turn on FSD yet. Let's try it out here.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I can't imagine what it would have done. It would have just pulled right out.
Just started.
Okay. Okay, so now we're in FSD. Okay, I need to like take a little moment to calm my nerves.
Just chill, chill.
Please don't swerve into these cars, please. Okay. 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 Oh. See, it's like, I don't know. I really think it has to do with the curvature and how the lanes are marked, because I don't understand why sometimes it just works fine and other times it swerves, and I'm just so glad there was no car there, because I mean, we would have just slammed right into it. Now maybe the ultrasonics wouldn't have allowed it, but the impression that Tesla gave me, okay, the car should have moved over by now. Yeah, okay, no FSD right now because it didn't move over here. Part of this particular program is Tesla called me and told me that all of my automatic braking systems have been disabled while in full self-drive mode. So if that toggle is enabled that I had showed on one of my previous posts, with this mode, it disables the automatic braking. So you do have to be aware and not be reckless with this, because the car's not going to stop from the impression that they gave me, at least until, you know, it's ready for prime time. But that's part of being in the testing, and this very significant disclaimer that they give you to be part of this program. But you know, that's okay. I mean, that's the risk that I'm willing to take, because I want people to be able to get very good, stable software and safe software, you know, once this is ready. And I know it's going to be ready soon because Tesla is so fast with this stuff. Okay, so we'll just go back into FSD mode now. So again, I don't know if you guys kind of saw that. Did you see the turn signal? So it's having trouble tracking again. You can see the line is like curving to the right, and sometimes it'll flicker left. And when that happens, the turn signal is going and cuts off and turns back on. So you can see it happening. Oh my God. Holy cow.
It's going straight or what?
Oh my gosh. There's no words. Like, you saw the line drawing to the right. I think there was actually a car there too, and it went to the right like it was going to turn into that car. I mean, you guys are experiencing this as we are. You know, I'm not like editing things out to make it look like it's perfect. This is really what's happening to us as we're driving. You know, that's what I have trouble with, because like I'm very, very technical, and I'm trying to understand what the difference is between different things, and the only thing that I can kind of come up with is that it has something to do with the very clear markings and other times not clear markings, and it gets confused. So that's kind of my speculation. I don't work for Tesla, but that's just what I'm thinking from my perspective. Yeah, not yet. Yeah, please, I need a job. Oh, yeah. I did a tweet about this, but you know, I was laid off due to COVID in May. So my best friend back here and we started a business doing sanitizer. You know, we're not making barely any money off of it, but we just wanted to do something to help people, because that's how we both are. You know, I've been in IT my entire career, and you know, I've always helped people. I love helping people, which is why I'm really happy to be part of this program, because I know this is going to help people by the testing I'm doing and the feedback I'm giving. You know, I get very detailed notes and I give it to Tesla. There's the little autopilot button here, little like camera icon that sends direct snapshots to Tesla while you're in this program. So, you know, you'll sometimes see me reach over and tap that. But anytime you overtake, it's also sending that information directly to them. And I kind of think that they're getting all of my data at all times, because the amount of data on my Wi-Fi is incredible. Like, this morning alone, it had 16 gig worth of data uploaded, and I've only been in the beta for two or 3 days now, because I think I got it at night, so it's been really 2 days. Yeah, so they're definitely capturing a lot of data, which is great, and it's so cool because they're so quick to identify what it is. You know, they have so many smart people working for them, and they're so quick. I mean, back in the Smart Summon, Enhanced Summon, you know, it came up with a lot of names, but back during that testing phase, it was incredible, because like the engineers would reach out and I would have a specific scenario that I'd have trouble with, and I would provide my feedback and they'd reach out to me, push an update. And, you know, we went through a lot of iterations with that, you know, back and forth, updates. And once it got perfected, I started seeing a lot of people getting software updates. You know, because I look at Teslafy, I look at all these websites about stats on cars. Like, my car's not in any of that. But I see those updates going out to people, and then I know, oh, okay, it's starting to push the update now. Like, oh, I'm starting to see it on Engadget or Electrek or, you know, all these blog sites. And it's just so cool to me because I know that, like, I was part of that testing process, and it, like, just feels so good to me. Because, you know, like I'm saying, I love helping people. My best friend back here, you know, he was a neurosurgeon. He loves helping people. He's, you know, amazing. So that's why I love working with him.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we're gonna get off the freeway here, and it's gonna go back to FSD mode. So I don't live in this area, but it doesn't look complex on the nav screen here, but we'll see how it goes.
Should be good test.
It's always good testing, in my opinion. Any driving I do is testing for Tesla, especially when you're in beta. I'm really impressed with these GoPros. Like the mount, that mount is just incredible. Like it's like glued to the car. Wonder how the night mode works on this camera. Oh. Oh my gosh, no! Oh, Tesla, please don't do this to me. It's like, it's making me kind of queasy because it's like, it just like so aggressively brakes or accelerates or swerves, and oh. I don't know how people like are able to keep their hands off the wheel. Like there's no way. You know, and it's not like I'm overly sensitive. It's just dangerous. Like this is why it's in beta. It's very limited. Like people need to take this seriously. Like this is not a joke.
Yeah,
like
this is not fun.
It's, you know, I'm going through this, so it's safe for everyone else. Like, you know, yeah, it's really serious. But that's why I want to show all this. So hopefully this new GoPro is clear enough. Okay, maybe we should go FSD again. I wiped the autopilot front camera when we were charging, so it's completely clean. I mean, you can see everything rendering very well. That funky tall box is actually a Mini Cooper. I'm not sure why it's so tall, because that little car is a little tiny thing. So, like, if it was up to me, I would have moved over to the left-hand lane, just like slow car, you know, like in navigating on autopilot. Like, it was almost 15 miles an hour there, and cars rapidly came up behind me. Now they're all going around me. But, like, as a driver, I would have used the logic from navigating on autopilot and slid over to the left as a faster lane. Like right here. Now it's wanting to go left. why is it like, this is not, okay, I gotta cut it out, like.
It's like there's so many information from you.
There, yeah, this is why we're doing it. How are people not having this? Like, I'm just gonna assume that everyone that's posting these videos are chopping this out, or they're not in, you know, scenarios like I'm experiencing. I don't have any issues using autopilot. The car works fantastic. Even using standard autopilot down the street, I don't have, I mean, sometimes it you know, does slight lane adjustment, but it doesn't make me queasy. It doesn't like overly brake for some reason. But in this particular software, the FSD BETA software, I said it before, like they definitely dialed up the aggressiveness of turning the wheel, not staying in like a tunnel. Like it'll go over the line if it needs to, which is how we would normally drive anyway. But you know, it needs to do it safely. And like that decision just a few minutes ago with wanting to stay in that right-hand lane when it's completely empty over here and almost come to a full stop, like it should have moved over, but it decided to like switch lanes at an intersection with no cars moving and like put on the signal. And you know, a normal person wouldn't do that. Like you would be like, what the heck is this car doing? You know what I mean? Like yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to turn it on here because it's gonna, like, it's faded lines. I'm just not really feeling comfortable with it right now. See, again, you can see, did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's jumping so much. Like, I'm gonna say it again, Tesla. Width of the line, the car knows, make a virtual tunnel. Like, just make a tunnel and make it do the path prediction for the city street turn, just like on the highway. Like, it works so well on the highway. That same kind of prediction needs to be set with the width, because I don't know of any other roadways that have, I mean, I'm not a traffic engineer, but I don't know roadways that change width from here to there. They're generally the same. So like, in my mind, I would draw a tunnel, like just a tunnel, and even if it's glitching or not rendering right, it really shouldn't be jumping like that. My car's not moving. Unless I have problems with my cameras, I don't know, but I've never, I don't know. Tesla would know, I don't know. At least you guys can see what I'm talking about. Like, it's just jumping, and I think that's why it struggles with turns sometimes. Yeah, I think that's just why. It's so interesting because the cars aren't jumping.
Okay, now we can see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you want me to turn on FSD or just?
Sure.
Well, I'm not going to turn it on mid-turn because, yeah, it's jumping. See, it just went left, and the path prediction actually showed it going into that car. I'm just glad I didn't let it do it, because it would have swerved again, just like it's been doing. I mean, who knows? Maybe I have a faulty camera. I mean, maybe there's an issue with one of my front cameras. But I'm not so sure about that, because I don't have any issues with highway driving. My car doesn't jump around on the highway. It's... Oh, what is it? What is it? Why did it do Yeah, again, I don't know why it's making these strange decisions. It said lane change. Did it say lane change to follow route? Did you see what it said? It's something with the software at night, because it wasn't doing this during the day, right? Yeah, the lines, it wasn't jumping like this during the day. It was pretty straight. Like the dots would kind of move a little bit, but at nighttime, it like really, you can see. Yeah, it's like the whole screen's dancing.
Nightclub at night.
Yeah, like a nightclub. Yeah, it is. It's definitely the software. That's for sure. So interesting. I would love to like hear from the autopilot team, you know, like at Battery Day and on the shareholder meetings that they have. They get very technical. I love it. You know, I like that kind of information because I'm a total nerd when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I would love to know, like, Tesla, why is it doing this? Why is it making this decision? Like, I would love that kind of information. Maybe I do need to work there. Then I can have an NDA and you can just explain it to me, because I'd be so like, I would like be so happy to know why a decision was made. You know, like, I love that kind of logic and thinking like that, because it really does help, like, you know, making a slight adjustment to some kind of logic or algorithm can make such a big difference in the way that software reacts, just in general, you know, from an IT point of view. So right now we're in traffic aware cruise control. You can see that here. It works really well with the speed adjustments, object tracking. There's been a few times it's really slammed on the brakes. But it does a really good job with like accelerating, especially reacting to lights changing. It does a really good job. It's not too aggressive, but there's something about the nighttime. It's jumpy. It's like the rendering's jumpy. Okay, so I'm not in full self-drive right now because this is actually a interesting driveway here. It kind of like it's sharp, and there's a down spot here on the right, and there's like this big hump right here. And like I said before, I'm in a performance model, so my car is a little bit lower than normal. Anyway, we're getting some Russian food. Elena's Kitchen. It's awesome, you guys. Okay.
You want to try
a U-turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, someone was even saying that, but
Somebody was offering.
the logic isn't here. So you can see it's trying to go into a parking lot and go through the parking lot, unable to complete maneuver. Yeah, so we'll just cancel it. So the question was, will it do U-turns? And it does not do U-turns.
We were trying.
Yeah. I mean, we would have tried it because it would have been protected, but it could have gone right into the car here. But the point is, it's not programmed to do a U-turn at the moment, because you can see it's trying to route us through here. Normally it would have just flipped and let us go back the other way, but it doesn't look like the FSD Beta can handle a U-turn at the moment.
At least you answered the question.
Yeah, I think I saw a few people on Twitter, like I'm getting, there's so many messages coming through, I'm trying to like see them all, and people are like, oh, you know, this and that. I haven't, you know, I'm not really a Twitter user, so it's hard for me to follow it. So, you know, send me I think it's called a DM, send me a DM if you need me to respond to you directly, because I've been getting a lot of messages, but yeah, a few people definitely asked about U-turns, and it's not doing it here. So yeah, I really like the green light chime. You know, I think I'm one of those few people that actually doesn't mind the green light chime. It doesn't do it all the time, but when you're like at a lead or right behind a car.
So
yeah. When you're a lead car behind a car at a light, it'll ding. I don't mind. It makes me know that the car is recognizing the light correctly, and I feel good knowing that. It doesn't do it in FSD mode though, so you'll see here we're back in full self-drive mode. It does not do green light chimes when you're in FSD mode because the car is just driving by itself. So again, it's trying to go to the right again. Like, it seems like, you know, we were near Auburn Mall earlier. The lane's kind of wide. There's like a bus lane over on the right, and the video, the steering wheel, it like is angled to the right. At a lot of the stops we're doing for whatever reason. I don't know why. Should show off the screen. Pivot around. Yeah. Pivot around. Yeah, so it reacts to the lights really well. Go ahead. Reacts to the lights really, really well. Like, it's so responsive. But again, it just like slams on the brake. Just use your finger. One finger. There you go. Pinch is like zooming in and out, and then you just drag your finger around to. It's drawing so far out. It's really incredible. I'm not going to do this because I need to pay attention. You can do it. So like, again, the car was... Okay. Oh, changing faster lane. Okay. It did it that time! So that's good. I mean, like, I was expecting to do that back, I don't know what road that was, but it should have done that to that slow car that was turning. Like, you know, I feel like they have the logic applied for the navigate on autopilot highway. Like, if there's an exit, like, don't do anything, because that was one thing that always bugged me. But those same rules don't... Oh my gosh, why is it slowing down so much? Those same rules don't... Those same rules don't apply. Oh my gosh, it's like... Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, no. Oh my gosh. That was not me. Okay, I think I'm done right now.